Tom Bower is drawing attention to what some viewers are calling Prince Harry's biggest nightmare, a subject that keeps coming up in public discussion and appears to continue weighing on him every day. According to online chatter, this may also be why people believe he has not been getting much peace. Bower is not holding back as he lays out his perspective.
A modern monarchy. Well, a modern monarchy can't include Prince Archie, Princess Lilibet. They've got to remove the titles. They've got to constrain it, and that really is what Harry rightly fears, that he will just be Mr. Harry Windsor.
According to Bower, Harry's nightmare was not something that started overnight. He suggests it began the moment Harry understood that Prince William would one day inherit the throne and eventually become king. From that point on, Harry reportedly felt that everything could change for him, because he believed his brother would have little interest in bringing him back into the royal circle after everything that had gone down between them.
That I always thought that when William became king, he'd just banish Harry. But I think he'll banish them both and take their titles away. And now Harry might even wonder, will he take the prince title away? Just to make absolutely sure there's no connection with the royal family and also his children. The Montecito couple are potentially a grave threat to the British monarchy, which altogether.
According to this line of discussion, Harry is said to worry about losing whatever influence he may still have around the monarchy, especially since Prince William has long signaled support for a slimmer royal setup. In that version of events, William's outlook for the future leaves little, if any, space for Harry to come back as a working royal, and that idea alone is said to keep weighing on him. And that is exactly why the conversation keeps getting so much attention online, because people are not just reacting to Harry's personal tension, they are also looking at what it could mean for the royal dynamic going forward. In public discussion, some viewers see this as more than a family disagreement, since it touches on questions about role, influence, and whether there is any real path back into that world. Others argue that the pressure comes from the uncertainty itself, with no clear sign of where things are headed or how the relationship between the brothers might settle. So, the reaction keeps building, not because anything has been officially confirmed, but because the speculation around it makes the whole situation feel even more loaded.
Bomb ticking. Once the king departs, I think the new king, Prince William, he wants to slim down and clean up the monarchy.
At the moment, Harry and Meghan are still seen by many as part of the royal family, largely because of one thing: their titles. And one of the biggest concerns tied to Harry right now, at least in online discussion, is the possibility of losing those royal titles altogether. That worry seems to linger in the background, because if those titles were ever removed, he could be left without the special status that comes with being a prince. In that scenario, some of the privileges linked to his royal role could also fade away, and instead of being recognized worldwide as Prince Harry, he could simply be known as Mr. Harry Windsor.
Harry's biggest fear is that he's about to become irrelevant as soon as Prince George hits 18. He's got a limited window to be relevant at all. He's not worried about press. He's worried about fading out as an irrelevant royal. He loves it, she loves it. They just don't like the bad stuff. Well, guess what? It's called being a public figure. Grow up and deal with it.
He is also said to be thinking about Archie and Lilibet, and whether their titles could turn into a bigger issue down the line. In this line of discussion, Harry seems to understand that without the royal connection, a big part of the Sussex brand could lose its weight. Their titles bring attention, help open doors, and give extra push to many of their projects, which is why people keep focusing on them. Some critics even argue that without that royal identity, Harry and Meghan could face a serious drop in public credibility.
Now, Prince Harry is reportedly very sad that Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet are missing out on life with the rest of their family, and that the extensive family network that their cousins are enjoying, well, his children aren't. I don't know what this spoilt brat expects. What did he expect when he uprooted his family and went to live in Montecito, and constantly slams the royal family? I don't think he realizes how daft he really is. And I mean, he is very daft. If you've read Spare, the guy is like low IQ. Like, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
With each passing day, the idea of a full reconciliation with the royal family seems harder to picture. Harry may still feel that King Charles could eventually be open to forgiveness, but Tom Bower says the bigger concern is Prince William. In that reading, Harry apparently sees William as the tougher barrier, since the trust inside the palace is said to have broken down completely. And that is why the discussion has not really calmed down, because every new comment seems to pull Harry deeper into a wider debate about what his future connection to the royal world might look like. Some people online are treating the title issue as a symbol of something much bigger, while others say the real story is the uncertainty surrounding how much of that royal identity can still remain intact. That mix of reaction keeps the conversation moving, since nothing has been officially settled and every theory leaves more room for speculation. At the same time, the focus on William adds another layer to the tension, because people discussing the situation often frame him as the figure whose position matters most when it comes to any possible reset. So even when the conversation starts with Harry, it quickly spreads into questions about trust, family pressure, and whether any meaningful repair is still realistic. That is why the reaction continues to grow, with viewers reading every detail as part of a much larger and still unresolved picture.
And also the pressure he's under from William, who does not want to inherit a mess. He wants the stables cleaned.
From the way the discussion is being framed, bringing Harry back into the royal circle after everything that has already happened would be seen by many as a huge risk. Prince William is widely expected to safeguard the monarchy's future, and Bauer suggests he would be unlikely to let anyone stir up more disruption once he takes the throne. After so many broken connections over the years, the idea of Harry rebuilding those ties now feels, to many observers, almost out of reach.
Is actually a matter of a breakdown of trust. The point about Harry was, can we trust him? And because of all the briefing and the reversals and all the somersaults, what they're really saying is, we cannot deal with this man. We don't trust the fifth in line of succession. Well, if that doesn't cast him into the wilderness, he'll notice in a few days how it will.
According to Bauer, another major fear Harry is said to carry is the possibility of being pushed into a public apology. If reconciliation were ever on the table, he would likely face pressure to acknowledge that some of the things he said and did toward the royal family were viewed by critics and commentators as deeply damaging. That would also bring renewed attention to the Oprah interview, where several controversial claims were made, and to the backlash that followed. He could even be expected to address the Netflix documentary, including the scenes that some viewers felt appeared to mock the late Queen through the exaggerated curtsy. The whole issue keeps getting tied back to whether any real repair could happen without Harry confronting those moments head-on.
This is a big deal. I mean, Americans will understand this. We have medieval times, dinner and tournament. It was like that. Like, I curtsied as though I was like, pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty. Like, was that okay?
He could also, in that view, be asked to apologize for revealing private family conversations in his memoir Spare, and maybe even to the British public for turning deeply personal family matters into worldwide entertainment. According to Bauer's perspective, just thinking about those possibilities would add another layer of anxiety, because he believes Harry has a hard time admitting when he may be wrong. Bauer also argues that pride would make any kind of public apology especially difficult. And that is exactly where the tension keeps building, because online discussion has turned this into more than just a family dispute. To some viewers, the bigger question is whether any kind of repair can happen at all if pride, past criticism, and public pressure are all still sitting in the middle of it. That is why every fresh comment gets picked apart so closely, since people are not only reacting to Harry's side of the story, but also to what this could mean for the wider royal image. As the conversation continues, the uncertainty around forgiveness becomes just as important as the disagreement itself. Supporters and critics alike keep reading into every detail, with some saying the situation shows how difficult it would be to move forward without a clear shift in tone. For now, the main point in the public debate is simple. There is still no settled path, and that lack of clarity keeps the speculation alive.
They did say, I don't want Harry back, but if I had to take him back, he would need to apologize to his family publicly, and he would have to apologize to the United Kingdom. Can you see a world where he is humble enough to do that?
No, I can't, because I think he's too stupid to do it. I think that to actually calculate, I've got to eat humble pie, I've got to admit it's been a mistake, demands intelligence, it demands courage, it demands also self-awareness.
Harry is also said to worry that his public image may already be permanently damaged. After years of interviews, documentaries, television appearances, legal disputes, and public remarks, a lot of people now question nearly everything he says. Every new interview gets picked apart, and many viewers no longer seem willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. According to Bauer, Harry is said to fear that rebuilding public trust at this stage could be extremely difficult, and that concern is said to follow him wherever he goes. In that view, the pressure is not just about one appearance or one comment, it is about whether his name can ever fully shake the criticism that has built up over time.
He's self-slain. He's caused his own. It's a reputational suicide. Let's put it no milder than that.
Right.
And he has now got to find a way somehow to save himself.
Another concern that keeps coming up in discussion is the future of the Invictus Games. Some observers say Harry may worry that, at some point, the organization could stop treating him as its central figure and shift him into a more ordinary role, more like a board member or supporter than one of the main faces of the project. The Birmingham Games have now turned into a major test for him. If the event goes well, it could help rebuild confidence. If it does not, some commentators believe the pressure around him could grow even more, and that possibility is exactly what makes this moment feel so important.
Because it's in Birmingham, which is a Muslim-dominated city, and Invictus has got a team from the Israeli army. So that's going to be a problem for him.
There could be a clash there you're concerned
well,
about.
of course, there'll be more than a clash. There'll be real trouble. But of course, he's trying to leverage the Invictus Games, which the government has given money to, because after all, it's a very worthwhile cause for injured servicemen, with his own return with Meghan, who will use it to promote herself.
There are already concerns being raised in online discussions about funding, security arrangements, public demonstrations, and the growing controversy around Meghan's involvement. Many people feel the focus has slowly shifted away from the wounded veterans and toward Harry and Meghan themselves. Instead of keeping the spotlight on injured servicemen and women, a lot of the conversation now seems centered on the couple's celebrity presence, and that has not gone unnoticed. Harry is said to understand that the Invictus Games remain one of his biggest achievements, and if anything were to seriously harm the event, a major part of his public legacy could take a hit as well. According to that view, that possibility weighs heavily on him. That is why the reaction around this keeps getting heavier, because people are not just judging one event, they are reading it as a sign of where everything stands right now. In online discussions, even small details are being treated like clues, and that makes the pressure feel much bigger than a single appearance or a single headline. For supporters, it is about protecting what still works. For critics, it is about whether the same public tensions will keep overshadowing every move he makes. And with that kind of attention, even routine updates can turn into a fresh wave of commentary. Some viewers say the biggest issue is not just the criticism itself, but the fact that it seems to follow him into every new project, every new statement, and every new public moment. That is what keeps this story alive, the sense that nothing is being viewed on its own anymore. Instead, each new development gets folded into the same larger debate about image, trust, and whether the public is ready to move on.
If Harry ceases to be involved in the Invictus Games, all the sponsors will be back. Just imagine if Sir David Beckham was the head of the Invictus.
Oh, wow.
It'll be bigger than the World Cup. Right? Boeing, they will literally, and Airbus. All of those guys will be back.
According to Bauer, this is no longer just a nightmare, it has started to look like Harry's reality. He is said to be under financial pressure, which is something he apparently feared for a long time. Running out of money is described as one of Harry's biggest worries, because, in this view, losing financial strength also means losing influence. That is why, according to this commentary, he keeps chasing public attention, media coverage, interviews, and speaking opportunities, hoping they will open the door to new sponsors and business chances. He also wants to stay tied to charitable work, since that helps keep his public profile visible. At the moment, though, he is only connected to a handful of major charitable projects, and even those are dealing with their own problems. Harry is said to have worried for a while that a day like this could arrive, and Bauer's view is that, now, it has. What once felt like a distant fear is being discussed as a reality that has slowly taken shape.
Meghan and Harry's crisis, completely of their own making, is they have no major projects, no major money earners. And so they're more desperate than ever. And I think that they don't know what to do other than to try and come back to Britain and rebuild themselves as some sort of members of the royal family.
Tom Bower also suggests that Harry may be worried about fading into the background altogether. In this view, his influence has been shrinking, and the royal connections he once relied on seem to be getting thinner and thinner. Senior members of the royal family rarely appear alongside him now, with some observers saying they want to avoid any fresh controversy. Harry reportedly has less access to the institution than he ever did before, and the support he once seemed to have from palace figures is no longer there. Even the Invictus Games, which at one point appeared to have clear royal backing, do not seem to receive the same visible level of support from the royal family anymore. Harry is said to be aware of all this, and according to Bower, that leaves him questioning whether his public role is slowly slipping away.
And Meghan will accept it, but there's no way, in my view, that William and Kate are ever going to accept Meghan back. And that's finished. And I think the events with Andrew show that the Sussexes have a survival problem now with their titles. So I think that Harry's problem is that he desperately needs a foothold in Britain. He knows he's got to secure it in his father's lifetime.
One of Harry's biggest concerns, according to Bower's commentary, is seeing the royal family keep moving forward successfully without him. In that view, Harry had expected his departure to leave a major opening inside the monarchy, something that would be felt immediately. Instead, he has watched Prince William continue preparing for the throne, Princess Catherine remain one of the most popular members of the royal family, and King Charles keep carrying out his duties. The institution, as observers often note, has adapted. New responsibilities have been divided among the remaining working royals, and day-to-day life inside the palace has carried on. That leaves Harry on the outside looking in, and for him, watching the monarchy move ahead without his place in it seems to be one of the hardest realities to accept. And that is exactly why the conversation keeps spreading, because people are not reacting to just one headline anymore. They are watching for a pattern. In online discussions, every new appearance gets measured against the same bigger story, and that makes even ordinary moments feel loaded with meaning. Some viewers say this kind of pressure can be hard to shake, especially when public opinion has already settled into a certain narrative. Others argue that the non-stop commentary only makes the situation look more complicated than it may actually be. What stands out is how quickly the debate shifts from one issue to the next, yet still circles back to the same questions about image, relevance, and whether the public is truly willing to move on. That is the part keeping this story active, not just the criticism itself, but the way each reaction seems to reinforce the last one. And as long as that keeps happening, every new update is likely to be treated as another sign that the bigger tension is still there.
The royal family is now in a stronger position without the grifters.
Bower suggests Prince Harry's biggest fear is not just another court loss or yet another negative headline. In his view, the deeper worry may be realizing that the monarchy has learned how to keep moving without him. As Prince William prepares for the future and the royal family continues on, Harry could end up not as a central part of royal history, but as someone watching that story unfold from the outside. That, according to Bower, is the part Harry may find hardest to shake. And with the debate around his place in the royal story still stirring online, it is easy to see why people keep dissecting every new update. If this story made you think, like, subscribe, share, and comment your take, and see you on the next one.